Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Game Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about Unravel 2 on the Nintendo Switch. It's a 1 or 2 player couch co-op, 2.5D puzzle platformer, and in many ways it kind of reminds me of the Trine games, if you've played any of those. And so the thing about the Trine games and this Unravel sequel here, the thing about them that I find similar is the fact that it's, first of all, I think that they're both really beautiful looking games. I think that they both are like the poster children for a 2.5D game. Like, they're just really beautiful 2.5D games. But the other thing that they have in common is that they're okay in 1-player mode. They're really fun in 2-player mode, but they're kind of, in my opinion at least, just sort of okay if you don't have anyone to play couch co-op with and you're going it alone. It's okay. So most of the game's mechanics really revolve around, of course, running, jumping. You control 2 characters who are attached to each other, and you can switch between them to kind of maneuver around and solve the puzzles. And you can also throw, so both of your characters are made up entirely of yarn, and you can throw some yarn as sort of like a lasso or a whip or whatever, and latch on to things and sort of swing from them. And you can use that extra bit of string to sort of like manipulate objects, move them around, and position them where you need to position them in order to solve the environmental puzzles, which sounds clever, and sometimes it is clever, but I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just not that fun on single player. Now, again, if you saw my top 20 video, you know that I love a good single player puzzle platformer such as Limbo or Inside. But this game, okay, so Unravel 2, and also, like I was saying, the Trine series, even though you can play them single player, I'm not quite sure what it is about them, but they're just not all that fun on single player. Also, Unravel 2, frankly, maybe not one of the hardest games that I've ever played through necessarily, but it's pretty rough in spots. And that's not only due to some kind of obscure puzzle solutions, but also there's some pretty tough platforming in spots, of course, especially later in the game. So you just want to I just want to let you guys know what you would be signing up for. And what you would be signing up for is a game that is definitely best played multiplayer, and also kind of hard, but also, in my opinion, maybe one of the better looking games on Switch. It looks great. Although I could see where the cleaner presentation of a PS4 or an Xbox One, I don't know, I don't have those systems, but I could see an opportunity for just making things a little bit crisper. But it does look good on the Switch. It looks pretty good. It sounds good. Some of the music is downright amazing, actually, really, really beautiful. Although particularly the last level's music comes to mind. It's this stunning sort of choir track, but it doesn't really fit the game kind of at all. It seems like it almost belongs in Fable or maybe even Limbo, but not it doesn't quite go here. But here it is anyways. And like I said, it is the music is nice. It just doesn't always feel like it belongs. The story, I've played through the entire game, and honestly, it doesn't make sense. It's one of those where the story is sort of implied or hinted at, but it's not explicit, which some people are going to view as nice because it doesn't get in the way of the gameplay, and I can appreciate that argument. But for me, if you're going to include a story at all, I do prefer it to be explicit, Don't leave me guessing as far as like, look what just happened in the background. What's that supposed to mean? What's really going on with the story? No, you're the one telling the story. Tell me what's going on with the story. So I usually, not always, but I usually don't care for that approach in storytelling. Either tell the story or don't tell the story. But different strokes for different folks. Okay, so look, man, you guys basically have the rundown on what this game is and a little bit of like what it isn't. There is a hint option that you can turn on, and you can access hints in the game while you're playing it, or you can turn that feature off. You know what? Again, different strokes for different folks. I get that, but I'm going to say that you definitely want access to the hints. You know, and if you don't need them, then great. Don't pull them up, because you have to like press a button to pull them up or whatever. Just don't use them. But they're there if you're going to need them. And in my opinion, you're probably going to need them, because like, look, I didn't have to look anything up at all for Limbo or Inside. And for some reason, I had to look up a lot of stuff for this game, and I even had access to the hints, and I still was like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense. Let me hit up Google and see what are they even talking about. So if having to do that bothers you or ruins the experience, then like this may not be the game for you. However, if that doesn't bother you because we live in 2023 and that's what Google's for, then go for it, man. You might have a pretty good time with this game. In addition to the hints, there's also this little firefly thing that kind of very, very, very vaguely leads you in the general direction of where you should be trying to get to, but it doesn't it doesn't really tell you how to get there. So you still have to figure out like, okay, it wants me to get up there, but like how? So anyway, if you're looking for a challenging puzzle platformer that may be a little too far on the obscure side in terms of the puzzle solutions and the hints and the, all of that, then this is going to be right up your alley. However, if you find that sort of thing like incredibly frustrating, this is probably not the puzzle platformer for you. All in all, I think it's a decent game. It just, it's just a question of whether or not it's the right game for you. Anyways, this game retails for $20 on the eShop. I got it on a real deep sale. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I think I got it like 80 or 90% off. I think I paid like $2 or $4 for this game. And so at that price, I mean, honestly, just for in my opinion, of course, people are going to have different takes on this, but in my opinion, it's a really strong looking game on the Switch, and for that alone, it's worth $2. But anyway, yeah, man, I would say stick it on your wish list at the very least. Wait for a nice deep sale like that, and it's totally worth scooping up. Is it worth the regular price of $20? That depends on how much you love puzzle platformers and how frustrated you get when solutions aren't necessarily obvious or are pretty obtuse. Anyways, man, I think that's all I really have to ramble about this game. So I hope if you like the video, please click like and subscribe. Click the little bell so you get notified when I drop a new video. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time, whenever that may be. Bye-bye.